大怪盗アルセーヌ・ルパンが残した不思議な宝物ルパンコレクションがギャングラーに奪われた。失ったものを取り戻すために戦う怪盗、世界の平和を守るために戦う警察、君はどっちを応援する？
Hello and welcome to the podcast of Stirring Up a Storm, LupinRecap versus PatReview. Did that in reverse, but fuck it, I'm not doing the second take. I am your host, Lokamasi, and with me is my lovely co-host, Fefnir Masamune.
December Wayne, Saki's been drinking Listerine. Anyway, hi, I'm kind of ill still.
Yeah, a little bit. And today we're covering episode 45 of Lupin Ranger vs. Pat Ranger, which is the Christmas episode, which, you know, you might say we're doing a little bit early, but I say look at the climate of advertising in the past several years. We are just on time, actually.
But of course, before we begin, it is episode 45, and man...
That's right.
He's been at the bottom of lists before, but I think it's time for Sakia to make a comeback, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I know I said last time that we weren't going to do a ranking episode 45 because things weren't going to change that much. But, you know, this is Sakia's episode to the point where I'm, like, wondering where the hell this character has been for the past 45 episodes. Like, this is the only chance we're going to get to put Sakia, like, near the top and have it not be a really obvious joke choice.
But you say only chance. I just realized there's no other Christmas episodes in this series, are there?
Yeah, let's just do the fucking Christmas. Let's talk about Christmas specials, actually.
Yeah, we won't get another chance to do that.
I'm not going to lie, you've taken this bit in a completely different direction, and I am not good at improv. I plan to do this part entirely by myself. So yeah, sorry, Sakia, we're not giving you a chance. You go sit in the corner. So Christmas specials. See, this is one of those weird things where, like, the most common version of Christmas specials, it's actually my favorite.
Yep.
I never get tired of A Christmas Carol, and I have no idea why.
It's got a good format that people can plug into and make really fun.
It might just be three ghosts / people bully some rich fucker. It's just a really, really good concept, actually. Like, I don't even have any, like, intelligent or poetic take on it. I will just watch any version of A Christmas Carol at least once. Even, like... So the one with Bill Murray in it is apparently, like, really hated. Like, Roger Ebert put it on his, like, worst films of all times. But I will watch that again. I didn't think that was that bad, actually. Like, a lot of the humor is kind of 80s specific, but it's not awful. I think the moment I realized I was a huge Christmas Carol fan was when I watched the Patrick Stewart version, where he plays Scrooge. Because it is about as literal an interpretation of the book as you can get. To the point where there are, like, long stretches of, like, okay, why? What the fuck are we doing? Why are we doing this part? And I will still watch that as many times as it comes on.
Why are they just saying author's note sometimes?
Why are we hanging out with coal miners? Why is the Ghost of Christmas Present standing triumphantly on a mountain of coal? He didn't mind that. That was already there.
So, yeah.
So, yeah, you pick A Christmas Carol parody, I will probably like it.
Yeah, so, in general, I like Christmas, type things. Usually, you know, good excuse to get animators to do one Christmas episode, and then they can just replay that every year, and then they can just catch a break. Unless you're Bob's Burgers, in which case you have to have new seasonal episodes every year.
Yeah, that is sort of the cynical version of making a Christmas special. They air it every year, so you get royalties every year, assuming you get royalties.
Yeah, I mean, it's only, like, semi-cynical. Like, I'm fine with it. Lots of people like Christmas traditions, so of course you're gonna play the old thing. People know that, and they want to see it again for the season.
Yeah, we could go through the list of, like, the most well-known ones, but I kind of want to... Do you have, like, a favorite obscure Christmas special that, like, no one talks about?
I mean, nobody's really talking about all of the Homestar Runner Christmas specials. I watch those every year. And there's more than one.
That's a pretty good example. I missed out on Homestar Runner because I had dial-up internet as a child.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
You'll have to like walk me through Homestar Runner at some point because I feel like I missed out.
Oh boy. I don't know exact dates myself, so I guess we'd have to go through one show at a time. Once we get to the Speemail block, it'll take a while. Though at the very least, I should show you Let Us Give Tanks, because that has one of my favorite lines in anything ever.
Yeah, I think one of my favorite Christmas, like obscure Christmas specials is called All of the Other Reindeer. I kind of told you about this.
Yeah.
It's based off of like a children's book, and in the children's book, Olive is a dog that is also pulling Santa's sleigh and thinks she's a reindeer. The Christmas special used to air on Cartoon Network all the goddamn time. Was like the origin story for the book.
Mm-hmm.
So it's about Olive getting to the North Pole because she hears a radio broadcast saying, like, Santa says, I need all the help of all of the other reindeer. And her, like, idiot flea friend is like, he needs you, Olive. And even Olive's like, no, I don't think that's what he said. But the only, like, weird thing about it is that it was partially written, at least, by Matt Groening of The Simpsons and Futurama. And it's a little cynical at parts, but, like, cynical in, like, a reaffirming way, almost.
Mm-hmm.
Like, one of Olive's friends that gets her to the North Pole is a penguin that sells fake Rolexes. And he's not really all that demonized or vilified in the show. Like, he helps Olive. Like, he's an okay person who tries to rip people off with fake Rolexes.
Sometimes it just happens to be like that.
It's also really weird that one of the, like, supporting characters in this kid's special is just a penguin that's like, hey, want to buy a watch? There's a lot of, like, weirdly interesting things about this special, even just from, like, a historical perspective. It's, like, an early example of Flash animation and things like that. I don't think Cartoon Network airs it anymore, which is a shame because I'd like to actually watch it again.
Yeah, I don't know what they'd be airing anymore.
Well, I tell you another thing that used to air all the goddamn time. We're just going to make fun of this for a bit. Remember Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer, the animated movie?
Yeah, I am the one who
What the
brought
fuck?
it up.
What the hell? I'm not even going to make fun of anything specifically in it. Just know that none of the songs in that movie were written for the movie. They already existed and were performed by the band that, wrote and performed Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer. Which at that point was one person. Because it was a married couple and they divorced shortly after Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer became popular.
Yeah, just why would you extend that song? Why would you give that a storyline? Like, the song is...
It's weird because, like, All of the Other Reindeer is basically a pun that got made into a 45-minute special, and it works so much better.
Yeah,
as a
because
coherent story.
You start at the pun and you're like, okay, what thing are we going to make that's not the pun? They actually thought it out. Meanwhile, Grandma got run over by reindeers. Just fucking, what if a company wanted to sue Santa or something, so they framed him?
I don't even remember, like, why were they in a courthouse in the last scene of the movie? I remember they were in a courthouse, but why?
That's one of the parts I remember.
So yeah, we've not been able to, like, do our normal analysis stuff about this because it's just, what is there to say? It's mostly just an excuse to talk about Christmas specials.
Of course, my favorite thing to watch at Christmas is the Sonic OVA. That has nothing to do with Christmas, it's just... it became a tradition for some reason that I've forgotten. But you know what? If people can say that Die Hard is their favorite Christmas movie, I don't give a fuck. I'll just watch the Sonic OVA every year. It's what I do.
I mean, Die Hard at least takes place on Christmas. I am going to be... I'll eat crow when we watch the Sonic OVA again, and Sonic just says, by the way, Merry Christmas.
No, he doesn't. Just like Sonic 3 isn't a Christmas game either, but I play that every year. That I at least remember. I coincidentally played it on Christmas Eve one year, and it just sort of stuck.
I really like a lot of Christmas aesthetic stuff. Like, I don't listen to Christmas music year-round, but if I want to listen to a Christmas song, I won't wait until Christmas.
Yeah, I've got a good playlist of Christmas stuff, and like, the moment Thanksgiving is over, it goes on my phone. It helps that most of my music isn't like the conventional stuff you hear in stores or whatnot, which is good because I'll probably be sick of all that.
Yeah.
How many versions of Last Christmas I Gave You My Heart am I gonna hear this year? Fucking 4 different versions, multiple times a day.
Yeah, no one does covers of Good King Wenceslas anymore, though.
Yeah, it's such a shame.
If you want to listen to that. People are still making covers of Santa Baby, as far as I know, and I have no idea why. You're not going to do it better than Eartha Kitt, sorry.
Please, people, stop singing about how you're horny for Santa.
If there was ever a song that didn't need covers, it was that for 2 reasons. 1, originals by Eartha Kitt. 2, it's about fucking Santa.
And that's not just using the expletive. We're not trying to say to emphasize
It is
Santa.
about pouring out to Santa of all people. That's got to be like the least productive. God. What I need is just a version of this that like ends with like Santa slowly walking out of a room. Just like, nope, not dealing with that.
Oh, you're definitely on the naughty list.
I'm not even gonna laugh, because you know what? You'll just turn that into a joke too. I'm leaving.
Ho ho ho, who wouldn't go? Me. I wouldn't.
So we talked a lot about Santa Baby for some reason.
Far too much, some might say.
Look, it's always good to talk about Eartha Kitt. It is less good to talk about Santa Baby. So let's move on to the episode proper.
Alright, so, episode 45, Looking Forward to Christmas. Something I think that maybe a few companies do a bit too much. Maybe shorten that looking for it, please.
Such an unassuming title, and yet...
We begin today with that one kid who crushed Kaichiro's hopes and dreams way back when. He hands Saki an invitation for a Christmas party. Suda, as the show reminds us is his name, is excited to eat chicken with the police. After all, it is Christmas, and provided you live in Japan, what is Christmas without chicken?
This used to be a more, like, worldwide thing.
Oh, really?
Of associating Christmas with chicken. But then chicken became a lot more commonplace.
Chicken, whatever.
You can blame Colonel Sanders on this.
Another thing that Colonel Sanders has ruined.
Motherfucker.
Well, at least ham is decent, and roast beef is also good. Sakia promises to get some chicken ready, and that he knows a French chef. Unbeknownst to Sakia, though, getting Tuma to help him do anything will be the least of his worries. Roll intro.
I'm surprised it didn't smash cut to him at, like, Jure, then a knife just goes flying and hits the wall behind him. You could have just said no!
Bah humbug, I hate kids, says Tuma.
Oh, God. We joked earlier about a Christmas Carol parody with different Lupin characters. Tuma would actually be a really good Scrooge.
He would be the best Scrooge.
He had a girlfriend that died and everything.
I do love DeGranio in that position, though, just because the reversal of just... No, please, Destra, do take Christmas off.
Oh, I actually misinterpreted what you were saying. I was thinking of DeGranio being way into Christmas.
That too.
Halloween's over. Time to duck the halls with boughs of holly.
Sir, we still have Thanksgiving. I'm giving thanks to Christmas, more like.
His like fucking Kung Lao hat is replaced with a wreath.
At the police HQ, we see 2 invitations sitting on the table, and 2 cops who are not paying attention to them at all. Jim finishes an analysis, and indeed, he finds that the disguise used by Giwi matches the appearance of a person who had vanished from the city 2 years ago. And one thing I'd like to note is that although the faces match, the appearance of Giwi's disguise differs from the official photograph of the disappeared person. So, I guess being frozen and skinned for Ganglar disguises does tend to haggard the face just a little bit, huh?
Yeah. I didn't pay too much attention to how different the photos were.
It may have been lighting as well, but I do love that it just looks ever so different.
It is wild how much you can change a photo with just a little bit of lighting and focal length.
But yeah, I'd like to note that the original person was wearing glasses, and the Gangler disguise wasn't.
You know, I'm starting to get the feeling that most of these Ganglars just want to look human at all. They don't really care which human they look like.
Pretty much, yeah. Like, Toxic Seahorse's whole thing was, oh, hey, I happened to get Satoru. Well, I guess I'll make use of this with my perfect power that I snagged from this guy.
Yeah, he had to steal somebody else's power to use it properly, even.
Everything just fell into my hands. Go me. Anyway, Kaicho slams the table nearby, upset that what Toxic Seahorse said seems to be the truth. At Jure, Sakia begs Tuma to make some chicken for a bunch of kids. Umika thinks that the party sounds fun, and meanwhile, Noel stands up and talks about how in French, Merry Christmas is Joyeux Noël, which suits him well. And he just starts posing, just frantically.
It must be, like, rough to be named Noel. If you like Christmas, you're gonna get made fun of. If you don't like Christmas, you're gonna get made fun of.
Yeah, Noel is like the one person who could ever take it in stride.
When he sees haters coming, he just starts backflipping away.
Uh,
How young do you think he was before he learned how to backflip? I'm talking about both Noel and Saya Matoki.
I'm going to say pretty much instantly in both cases.
He just backflipped out of the womb.
Yeah. Their poor mothers.
Doctor's like, oh fuck, grab him!
Just backflipping away from the doctors.
Quick, cut the cord, we're gonna have problems!
Oh no!
This is the stupidest fucking image! And it's... There's too many dumb things in this episode, I can't add stuff like this right now.
Nobody pays attention to whatever it is that Noel's doing in the background, until he mentions that while Toma is doing the cooking, he'll handle the cake. There is a bakery that he frequents that'll make the perfect cake. It's in Paris. X leaves Jure and boards his train, homeward bound.
And we do say X, not Noel. He has to transform to use his sword.
Yep. Everyone sees him off, a little confused. Except Sakia, who's thankful, which is the correct thing to do considering Noel is going all the way to France for a cake. Back at the heavy plot, Jim has discovered yet another matching disguise, this one being Pitchcock's. As everyone looks sad that this is the third match they've found, Kaichiro has a sudden realization. He pushes Jim out of the way and types something in. He finds that Pitchcock's disguise matched one of the people in the string of disappearances during February of the prior year. And Kaichiro pretty much confirms that it's not just that the disguises are based on these people, but rather that they could be made of these people. Director...
Merry Christmas!
Merry Christmas! These people were skinned alive.
Merry Christmas, have nightmares. I think this is a problem in Tokusatsu shows, actually. Where the Christmas episode is like half goofy bullshit, and the other half really dark. Because X8 had the same problem, I won't go into details, but... I've not seen the Q Ranger Christmas episode yet. I'm not looking forward to that now.
It's just that Lucky gets invested in Bitcoin. I mean, you laugh now, but it actually takes a dark turn when Lucky realizes his horrible mistake and that he's ruined his life.
Well, Gethcoin went up by 200%. Talk about Lucky.
Director Hilltop asks for a list of everyone who went missing, and Jim gets to work, as do Kaiichiro and Tsukasa. Elsewhere, Kairi, of all people, is helping Sakia shop. I guess we haven't had enough dynamic between these two, so let's get that in.
Yeah, I don't think they've spoken to each other this entire show.
Yeah, not at least, like, for prolonged periods of time.
It's weird, because this show is, like... I think the show's pretty good about having the Rangers talk to each other, but, like, there are some pairings that just don't get used a lot. Like, Tsukasa and Toma, it took until, like, way late in the show for them to talk to each other.
Yeah, even Tuma Sakia took a while.
Yeah, but that was, like... I got that. That was a joke. I understand why they don't talk much. Even like Tsukasa and Umika got along really well at the beginning, but it's been a while since they've really talked to each other.
Too long, I would say.
Yeah. Let the girlfriends talk. Come on.
Sakia thinks that Suta's invitation came at the perfect time, given everything else that's happened recently. With most of the shopping done, all that Sakia and Kairi need to do is buy the actual chicken. So, of course, this is the perfect time for some off-camera screaming. This time around, we have Samon Siakekistin.
Yeah. I don't know what is up with his last name.
Whose groupie podamen scour the pavilion for anybody eating chicken and replacing it with salmon. Everybody's getting salmon this year. Chicken's reign is over.
We're coming for you next year, turkey. You watch your feathered ass.
Ro then materializes a salmon, cuts it up, and cooks it in an instant before firing the pieces into the mouths of nearby onlookers. According to Kairi, it is pretty good salmon.
We come back to the Granio and how, like, oh, he's feeding the humans? Fuck this guy, I want him dead.
This is an insult to the spirit of Christmas that I, DeGranio, know so very well.
Christmas is that time of year where you break in all the humans' houses and put and put things that catch fire easily into their stockings.
It's all about the fire hazard, baby.
That's sitting over a fireplace. What the fuck? What? I'm just now realizing that if you were naughty, Santa don't threaten to burn down your house.
You know, not enough human houses burned down. Where's that one guy with like 4 arms who had fire? Oh, he died episode 2. Oh, right, forgot that. But Sakia will not stand for this salmon, and Kaisatsu changes. He still eats the salmon, though. It's good salmon. Kairi calmly walks behind cover, continuing to eat as he peers out from behind the building. Mm-hmm. Sakia alone has some trouble taking down even Podamen, though that's more because Ro will not stand for his groupies being killed. He hooks Sakia's gun with a fishing rod that he has, and Sakia asks him why he's stealing chicken from people. Christmas is supposed to be for eating chicken, but Ro refuses to believe that you can tie a single food to a holiday. And so, the most important battle of ideals in this show begins. A battle between chicken and salmon.
I'm like 90% sure that the graphics they use for this are recycled from Kamen Rider X8.
Saki and Ro run towards one another, passing each other as they both attack, and in a single slash, Sakia goes down. Salmon is the victor.
You mentioned you've been calling his Podamen groupies, and I really do love the mooks when they act more like hype man.
Yep.
Hype men. I found a place for good chicken. Let me give you the number. Psych! That's the wrong number!
Oh, you got it! Sick burn, boss!
Oh boy, I sure am excited to sell all this chicken. I'm about to end this man's entire career.
Just goes up to Sakia. You got whacked because you're weak. And just to put him in the background, hell yeah! Sick burn. Delighted by his victory, Ro leaves to spread salmon throughout Japan. Kairi returns and asks Saki if he's okay. Other than being demoralized, he seems fine. But suddenly, Ro appears on a nearby TV and introduces himself. He asks why the fools of Japan always eat chicken on Christmas, to which Sakia shouts, because it tastes good. Not that he can be heard by anybody but Kairi.
I do wish that Sam would just yell back, "Shut up, Sakia! You lost fair and square."
Chicken sucks. But Ro hates chicken and threatens anyone eating it this Christmas by saying that they're going to get trolled hard. His words, not mine. Sakia realizes the danger that all of Japan is in, and so he grabs Kairi by the hand and starts running. Sakia runs across one store only to find the display is empty. He's too late. The chicken is already gone. Sakia asks the owner what happened, and he flashes back. Ro and his Podamen run across the shop and notice that it's selling chicken. So he pulls the owner in close and tells him that he knows he's being imposing, but he's not allowed to sell chicken. That being said, he does provide salmon for the man to sell, which is awfully nice of him.
Yeah, it's like... This really is, like... This should be one of the ganglars that Degrano just can't stand.
You're doing more good than harm, damn it.
If you're giving them free salmon, you can't do that!
At least rip them off, God. Is it evil salmon? No, it's just normal. Why are you even here?
So the salmon doesn't spring back to life and try and kill the people trying to eat it? That's dumb.
Wow, what an unconventional plan, jeez. With his work done, he and the Potaman run off. Back at the present, Kairi notes that the prices on the salmon are actually really good. I guess Ro is kind to sellers and buyers. The owner then said... Actually, wait, hold up. He didn't even pay for the salmon in the first place, so, like, he's getting free inventory that sells for good prices.
That's what I was saying. Like, this is really just a nice thing all around. Like, this Ganglar could end world hunger.
Yeah, you know what? I feel like Saki is actually the villain here. I know I said I'd put him at the top of the list, but you know what? I'm bringing the character list back for this segment. Saki is at the bottom again.
And, like, I know that things change with time and location, but salmon is kind of like a high-end food, isn't it?
It's like so-so.
I don't eat a whole lot of seafood, but, like, seafood in general is expensive depending on where you live.
Yeah.
I live in the Midwest, so I don't get good seafood.
I have always pretty much lived near coast, so yeah, it's not so bad. The owner then says that he tried to put some chicken out after Ro left, but as soon as he did, Ro returns and steals that chicken, leaves him more salmon, and leaves once again. So, he's not going to sell any chicken. Kairi is ready to give up, but Saki is not, and so he drags his, friend off once again. The two run across another shop. This one is temporarily closed. Saki asks the owner why he's not selling chicken during one of the best times of the year to do so. But, of course, his story is much the same. Ro ransacked the store, gave the man salmon, and left. And when he tried to put chicken back on the shelves, Ro returned to take it away again. The owner of the store weeps, having had to close his store during such a big sales time. Kairi thinks that the Ganglar is well informed, but we'll just leave off there for now. Back at Jur, Kairi explains the situation to his companions. Tuma says that they can still have the party without chicken, but Sakya stands up and says that he will not accept that.
Sakya, I'm a world-class chef. I can make a perfectly fine Christmas dinner without any chicken. I'll just cook a turkey. Turkey at Christmas makes a lot more sense than chicken because it's not been ruined by fast food yet.
Ro's brother just runs in and gives them tuna, takes the turkey away.
Oh, what the hell?
Honestly, we really just hate land meats.
Well, at least I've still got this beef, and he just pulls out, like cod. What? This just gets more and more improbable. He runs to, like, his spice racket is just full of, like, minnows and sardines.
You get rainbow fish, motherfucker.
This is an even funnier episode. Where the Ganglar is just doing a fucking prank war on Toma.
Christmas without chicken, according to Sakya, is like New Year's without Moki. Somewhere, Kaitro has a heart attack at the mere suggestion. For the kids and for his teammates, Sakya swears that he'll get some chicken. Noelle then enters the scene, cake in hand, and says that Christmas without chicken is like a beachside stand without ramen. On a different show entirely, Naruto gets a heart attack at the mere suggestion.
Naruto has a heart attack because all he eats is ramen.
That's true, that's a lot of salt.
It's not good for you.
The Juror trio are very interested in that cake, though. Does actually look like a really good cake.
Yeah, it looks like the right blend between a fancy display cake and actually looks like it would taste pretty good.
Uh-huh.
Only problem, this is going to be for a party with kids. That is not enough cake.
Oh yeah, oh god, yeah. One kid's just gonna try to abscond with the whole dang thing.
I'm not even like I could eat half of that cake. In like maybe 2 slices. It's not a very big cake. I realize most people probably have more self-control than I do, but still.
Yeah. I'm 24 and fortunately eating half of that cake would probably kill me. I might attempt it, but, my body does not have the same appreciation for sugar that I do. Sakia asks Noel what they should do, and Noel has an idea. He doesn't think that Ro is well informed, but is instead using the collection piece Une Femme de Loup to sniff out chicken wherever it may be. Sakia asks Noel for a favor, and Noel is already ahead of him. X then leaves Jura and boards his train once again. He rides from Tokyo to Paris, and when he arrives, an agent is already there with chicken. So X puts it in an icebox and rides back.
I like how it's not even like a member of the Lupin family estate. It's just another officer of the Global Special Police.
Yeah, he just called up French HQ and was like, "Hey, could you get a chicken ready for me? I gotta kill a ganglar."
Hey, can you get the intern you hate the most?
You see, I
go buy chicken for me right now.
You see, I need a decoy chicken.
Have him get 2, just in case, because I do want to have one that's actually cooked.
And so, with a chicken in hand, Sakia thinks it's time to start prepping for the party. But Noel warns him that going through with the party now would only put the children in danger. After all, Ro is still on the loose. Though, I would put danger in quotes personally.
He's not saying, like, anyone who eats chicken will be shot on sight. He's just gonna burst into the room, steal the chicken, smack a child with a fish, and then leave.
Yeah, like, he did throw salmon into people's mouths at one point, so maybe he's just concerned about, like, one of the kids accidentally choking.
That would be amazing if they brought up that specific problem. But I think in general, like, I do get it, though. In general, you don't expose children to dangerous criminals.
Yeah, he is a criminal, even if, what he does is actually morally not that bad. Just giving people salmon, what's wrong with that? Everyone looks to Tuma, who's fine with being bait again, and only asks Sakia to keep him safe. He's also nice and calls Sakia senpai. Aw, how nice. We don't get to see Sakia's reaction, probably because it would be followed by Tuma punching him in the face.
He just runs up, "Thank you so much." Don't push it.
Later, in the set piece we'll be using for today's battle, Tuma's cooking the chicken. Noel and Sakia adore the smell. Nearby, Red and Yellow are in hiding until Ro decides to make his entrance. And there's no moment of Umika x Sakia shipping. I choose to live in denial.
She just really appreciates her new friend, Sakia. They're just friends. You can't prove otherwise.
Look, just because a man and a woman talk to each other doesn't automatically mean they're straight.
If you think Pearl is just Rose's knight, then you have to think that Umika and Saki are just friends.
Anyway, Ro comes running and is so distracted by beelining towards the chicken, he's unprepared for a couple of kicks from Saki and Noel. Tuma makes his retreat, making sure to take the chicken with him, while Saki and Noel kaisatsu change. They fight, and you wouldn't think Ro would do that well against the Rangers, even if there are only 2 of them. But the thing is, he has an unblockable special move. Nigo is teleported into the fishy zone, where he is cooked in a salmon fried rice dish. When the attack ends, Nigo is thrown to the ground. X tries to help, but is instead cooked in salmon namazu, and is defeated as well. Please nerf Ro, he's too powerful. His supercharge has got to rise slower. He can't gain so much super on a single hit. Things look like they're going pretty badly, but Nigu and X won't give up. They admit that salmon is good, but you just have to have chicken on Christmas. Their determination gives them the strength to shoot Ro over, where he's greeted by the Phantom Thieves. They open Ro's safe, 419, and retrieve his very good nose. Sakia wonders why the Phantom Thieves are here, but look, the Phantom Thieves may be dirty criminals, but even they know that you should have chicken on Christmas.
I like that line, but also I just remembered a 419 scam is more commonly known as the Nigerian prince scam, isn't it?
I don't know, actually.
I think that's what that's called. I am the salmon prince. been exiled from the ocean.
You don't actually have to give me any money. I will just find you and give you salmon. Do not run. I will find you.
Do not hang up. I am tracing this phone call.
I'll chase you to the ends of the earth.
I will find you, and you will eat salmon.
They Kaito change, and all do their intros around a prone row. One brief fight later, as well as a couple of super changes for some reason, Ro is hit by a super superior strike and some unnamed shots from the Lupins, and he explodes. But his broken safe is quickly caught by his own fishing pole, this time wielded by Gauche. She calls it an odd catch, releases it, and makes Ro big. The Lupins then move to form the Kaiser, and there's still no shipping moments. X also launches the X-Emperor. Naturally, Ro is pretty worried about the fight right from the get-go, so he puts it on hold for a moment to get Gauche to make his Potamen huge. I'm glad they get to be a part of this fight. He then gives them all salmon blades, and they rush off to fight.
Gotta stay on brand.
Yep. While they get to work, Ro uses his smoked salmon counter, which just shoots steam. Steam from the steamed salmon they'll be having. Steamed salmon. Anyway, Emperor's not doing great, so Ro switches his attention using his Chan-Chan Yaki Flash on the Kaiser, which is also just steam. I do like how Ro's not much of a fighter in of himself, but he does bring back the Potamen teamwork. He gets his groupies in on the fight, it rules. Red's not amused by these attacks, so he launches the Magnum, which takes the blue and yellow vehicles, and decks Ro in the face. X also flips into gunner mode, and they take out the Potamen with a hail of bullets. So with one target remaining, the Kaiser activates Lupin magic with a snap of its fingers. Ro finds himself in a void, which is quickly lit by Christmas lights. He's overjoyed by this winter wonderland, and even more so when a sled comes in, pulled by Co-Magnum and ex-Emperor Donner. And of course, sitting in the sled is Santa Kaiser. They activate their special attack, Santa Thunder Present, and make this Ro's last Christmas.
I love this finishing move so goddamn much.
It's so good.
Because, like, when we were watching it, you were like, oh my god, are they not going to kill him? Or are they just going to teach him the real meaning of Christmas? And no, they just kill him. This Santa shows up and fucking shoots you.
Santa just shoots you dead with a gun.
ASMR.
You're all gonna eat salmon.
You know what it is, though? This is that one guy's Grinch OC. The Gunch.
Oh fuck,
Holy
it's
fuck,
Magnum.
it's
I mean
the
the Gunch.
Emperor Guncher.
We then cut to the night of the party. The school kids are all enjoying their chicken. But that's not all. Chef Tuma comes out with a variety of salmon-based dishes, and the kids eagerly take those as well. Noel posits that salmon is not out of the question when it comes to Christmas dinner. Kyrie says that he'd be glad about it too, and we see a tree full of salmon ornaments.
It feels like they're just spitting on Salmon's grave at this point.
Well, now, before we move on, I would like to point something out. Ro led a life dedicated to salmon. In fact, I would go so far as to say as, when it comes to salmon, his life was exemplary. He died for salmon, and in the end, even the Rangers decided to follow his example and add salmon to the menu, which, that part I would say, is a miracle. And of course, let's not forget the fact that he came back to life after being blown up, which, is kinda common with ganglars, but it's still a miracle. So, 2 miracles after his death, a virtuous life of salmon, and he died a martyr for salmon. I believe that's what's required to be canonized in certain circles, meaning that he was, in fact, Saint Ro. Anyway, Tsukasa arrives.
I thought you were going to say Jesus specifically, because here's the thing, one of Jesus' miracles was feeding like 200 people with a single fish, or something like that.
See, I went for the the low bar with the pun. Anyway, Tsukasa arrives, but Sakia wonders where Kaichiro is. He is, in fact, back at HQ, still working. No wonder he's Suda's least favorite. He looks back and sees that his invitation is still on the table, checks his watch, and realizes that he's late. He scrolls through the list of missing persons when something catches his eye. He sees the name Yano Shuri, Kairi's brother. As he realizes that Kairi's brother is one of the people who went missing, he flashes back to Jim's report on the Jur trio, back when they were suspects. Umika's school had been located near the site of some of the disappearances. Tuma's fiancé had left him. And of course, now we have this. Kaichiro utters, "Could it be?" aloud, and we cut to the Jur trio's faces. As the episode ends, Kairi notes that Kaichiro is running late.
That's the episode. What a good episode, and what a way to end it.
Yeah, seriously. This is a pretty huge moment.
Like, we joked about how this is one half Sakia having his fucking sitcom adventures, and the other half just his co-workers falling apart at the seams over this horrific tragedy they didn't even really know about. And it just ends with the lid being blown wide off of this case.
Yep. But before we get around to more of that, the Ganglar.
He fucking rules.
Yeah, Salmon's really good.
I know I'm kind of imposing here. I can't tell if he's trying to be like, sure it'd be a shame if something were to happen, or if he's just being really genuinely apologetic.
I'm really sorry, but I just hate chicken so much.
I do not mean this as a slight against you in any way, but if you cook one more chicken, I will literally vomit a cactus out of my throat. So he just picks up an uncooked chicken and slowly walks over to the kitchen. You're gonna do it. You're gonna fucking do it. You're gonna...
Sorry, I just wanted to see if it actually happened, and it did.
God. There have been a couple of chicken-based ganglars, right?
Yeah, there was the, they're more cockatrices, but you know what? Close enough.
Right. I wish that, there was an awkward moment of these two walking by the halls in Ganglar Land. Just the two cockatrices who walk by and they see Sam, they just slowly walk away.
But, hold on a sec, guys. What if you were Salmon instead? No, Salmon, please. No, I got you costumes and everything. Please, God. But yeah, Salmon's just got a whole lot of personality, and while sure he's one note, it works.
Yeah, it's one note, but it's a really good note.
Yeah. Plus,
it's the note that shatters glass.
Plus, I do legitimately love his interactions with his Potaman. We haven't had this since the fucking trio episodes, where the old dude whose name I've forgotten was really worried about his Potaman.
I just remember Ushibarak the Brawl, because he's the only Ganglar to not have a first and last name. And is instead the Brawl.
He just has a title which he wears with pride. But yeah, here it's just legitimately, his Potamen are just fucking excited all the time. The extras must have been overjoyed to be in this episode. One of them steals a sign from one of the stores. And yeah, just in the end, Salmon's like, I can't fucking do this on my own. There's two of them and I couldn't fight one. I need my groupies. I've got swords for them and everything.
Yeah, this is just a really fun Ganglar to mess around with for a bit. I feel like there's not a whole lot to talk about, but it really is weird that this is also the episode where the police are starting to unravel the mystery of what happened 2 years ago.
I appreciate it, because that means that you really can't call this a filler episode now.
Now it's plot important. Take that.
You have to watch the fucking Christmas episode where Sakia saves Christmas. Otherwise you're missing something essential.
You joyless motherfuckers who refuse to have fun while watching TV shows now have to watch one of the most fun episodes of this TV show.
Yeah. I actually do appreciate that, though. Look, I've said before I don't mind a filler episode, but also, it's kind of nice that at this point the plot's still going on, and it is actually sort of the point that, stuff is really starting to ramp up near the end of the show, and Sakia just wants some time to relax.
Yeah.
He wants to help his teammates unwind for just a moment. And part of the point is that Kaitro just can't.
I feel like there are examples that do it a bit more masterfully than what is done here, but it still works really well.
Yep.
I'm also glad we got to see everyone except Keiichiro dressed up in ridiculous Christmas outfits.
Yeah. Though, of course, I would like to see Kaitro in a ridiculous Christmas outfit. Also, I love that Sakia is the reindeer at the Christmas party that he was the only one, personally invited to. Everyone else got the secondary invitations. The kids asked him.
Yeah,
But no, Kairi is Santa.
Uh-huh. Well, they just really like Rudolph. I'm still thinking about that, the Japanese version of Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, which is just a lot more blunt. The last verse contains the line something like, Rudolph was finally useful, or something.
Oh, jeez.
It's probably just a weird translation thing. I don't think that they meant to be so cynical, but it really comes across that way.
I mean, that is pretty much Rudolph. Hey, Rudolph, you get bullied for your whole life, but oh hey, now that you have a practical use, we can take advantage of your deformity, and now we love you. It's a very realistic song.
Yeah. It is a shame there's, no version of the story where Rudolph is just like, fuck you. He just leads Santa in the middle of nowhere and abandons him. Oh, you love me now. Where were you 10 years ago? Fuck you, Santa. Time to die in the Bermuda Triangle.
You allowed my bullying all these years. Now I'm taking over Christmas.
But yeah, even though there is some important stuff that happens this episode, because it's a mostly comedic episode, I kind of don't have much to talk about.
Oh yeah, of course.
I'm just losing my mind over every single joke and dumb thing that happens.
Yeah, I mean, it's not even like we can take some sort of observation about how this episode, deals with the quote-unquote true meaning of Christmas, because that's also a joke, because they keep saying it's chicken. Which obviously they don't believe, it's just a goofy thing they say.
Yeah. I can't wait for this to be adapted into Power Rangers. Because the joke becomes even funnier in English, actually. Because it's even more of a non sequitur. But yeah, I think that does it for this episode.
Yep.
Alright, if you want to follow us on Twitter, you can follow us at LRVSPR. Fafnir is FF3Masamune. If you want to email us, you can email us at LupinRecap via PatReview@gmail.com. We will see you in the next episode.
Adieu.
Adieu.